We will have the 5 red lights on here in Silverstone in round 7. And Cookie will lead us down into turn 1. Can Hemi Dimes getting a good enough start to stick with Cookie? No, it seems Cookie's comfortably dragged off the start as Gordon gets up into P3. Rio on the inside, which becomes the outside of the next corner of Gordon, as there's a bit of lag from Hemi Dimes up ahead, which has compromised Rio's run as he's still side by side with Gordon. The car around the background, it's Berlin, who had his best qualifying in his WHF career, has yet again come to blows with another car as Hemi trying to cover off the inside, as Rio still battling side by side with WHF Gordon. Side by side they go, and Rio finally gets ahead, and Gordon allows him through as Rio had a bit of drama here. I think it might be Stephen Beecham, as he's dropped down the order. Whoa, Max now going side by side with Stephen. Mallard watching this as well. Stephen now, the rear light flashing in that car. Ty watching this battle as Mallard getting through on Stephen, as Stephen's having a bit of a tumultuous time here. Down to P13. We're not quite sure what's happened with the Ferrari. Potentially maybe a spin that lost him a couple of positions now, and now he struggling to keep the car together. As he seems to have recomposed now and is keeping this P13. Meanwhile, Ty, DZ Racer on the inside. Oh, that's Thory on the inside of Ty Clare. Beautiful move from Thory as Ty going to try and get back ahead out of Lovefield. Ty trying to plant the power but can't get the exit, and Thory with a beautiful move able to make that one stick. Here of Ali. And Ali, that DRS ahead helping him as Ollie's gone for an opportunistic move on TJ, and a lovely move from Ollie. WHF Season 3 champion, and he's showing you why he is a champion, catching TJ napping. And Ollie now up into P8, a beautiful move from the McLaren. The Williams is Mallard getting through, and Hassan on the inside of the Red Bull. Side by side we go, the Alpine and the Red Bull, and Mallard through but washes out wide, does the Alpine, as the Ferrari of Stephen Beecham tries to go through on both of them. Hassan now back on the outside of Stephen, and Stephen has to filter in behind as Thory watching this battle as well. We're very close together, are we? As Ty also wants to get involved as well. So close is this mini train, separated by absolutely nothing. As Stephen appeared to make a little bit of a mistake there, maybe tagging the rear of Hassan. That's allowed. Thory round the outside. Ty also maybe wants to get involved here. And can Thory try and get out of Stephen, as Stephen battling all he can? Has Thory got the grip on the outside? Still side by side they go. Stephen washes out wide. That opens the door to Ty on the inside, as Stephen round the outside has the grip to hold on. And Michael Louis had a spin out of Beckett's, and having such a strong race, battling for P5, and now Michael down to P11, as we also see Thory on the inside, as Michael Louis and Mallard go side by side. Michael keeps it ahead. Oh, and in the background, big crash between Thory and Hassan. Hassan's out of the race, and that's a safety car here on lap 6, and it's easily hard to the end. Gonna look to try and find a way through as Hemi almost catches the rear of the Red Bull. Rio gonna dive around the outside of the Ferrari of Hemi. In the background goes Echo and Ali. Hemi keeps it ahead of Rio. Side by side are Womax and Ali. And Womax gets through Echo into P5. Ahead of Ali as Cookie down the inside of Gordon. He's played it perfectly. Cookie into P1, and he now has that buffer where Gordon is now in Hemi's way if he needs to get ahead. Meanwhile, Gordon battling with Rio. Rio going to try and get through on the Aston Martin drivers. Gordon goes defensive to the inside. Rio trying around the outside to find some grip here, searching his way around the outside, and Rio with a little bit of a illegal overtake, but gets ahead of the Aston Martin driver. And charge down, but Ollie on the inside of the Sauber as well, and Ollie into P6. Meanwhile, TJ still unable to get ahead of Gordon. In with Ty. Michael Louis now on the outside of Stephen Beecham. And can the McLaren find his way through? Stephen on the inside. Michael around the outside trying to find some pace here, as he does get ahead of Stephen round the outside, and before Cops that move is done. But no, he stays out. Michael side by side on Ty, and Michael through on the Aston Martin driver, who goes a bit deep, opens up the door potentially to the Ferrari of Stephen Beecham. The answer is no, as TJ down the inside of Womax. It is not a quick strategy to do it that way. You'd really want to do a medium hard, if anything. But rear of Echo. These two still battling. Ali on the inside of Cop's corner. Risky move. And he dives through on Echo. Leaves the track. Echo looking for the switchback, but no move there. I mean, that's one of the most illegal overtakes I've seen this season. It's TJ on the rear of Echo, not close enough to making a move as Echo comes in, and that's the issue. I did mention it. Everyone who comes in, and Ollie's in as well. Echo's got a 10-second speed in the pit lane penalty. That's going to cost him a heap of time. But this is the risk you run if you pick up... if you don't manage the tyres. TJ now up at a P4, and he's just going to manage the hard to the end. Same with Stephen Beecham. He's got P5 currently. That would be his best finish in WHF. Berlin, despite his carnage this race, if he can make it to the end, it'll be a P6 and a magnificent drive for him. Everyone inside the top 6 comfortably, you can tell, are on wheel. As Echo now on the outside of Womax. And Echo up to P9. As Echo just has way more grip than the Alpine. And the Alpine waving him through, and it's hard to even tell where they are on the track as DZ Racer does let through Echo, and also will get a free use of DRS's. Womax now round the outside of the Alpine, and who's going to back out here? No one wants to give an inch as they go side by side, and DZ Racer with a beautiful defensive driving, but Womax just has so much more grip on these fresher hard tyres. May get round the outside. They're still side by side. It's a drag race down to Stowe Corner. And Womax breaks later and gets through. DZ Racer now all he needs to worry about is trying to hold on to DRS range of the cars ahead, but he may be struggling for pace here on these old hards. Meanwhile, Ali's actually caught the rear of Berlin. Now, a reminder how far Berlin was down the order after all his dramas. Ali on the inside of DZ Racer. Can Michael Louis capitalise as well here? And around the outside, a little bit of contact with the Alpine. As off the track he goes, and Ali through on Berlin in Brooklands as Michael. Meanwhile, Thorey gets a much better exit out of Beckett's, and may try and look for a move down into Stowe Corner on DZ Racer, and Thorey breaks later than the Alpine and gets through. The Alpine though still may get some positions here because of penalties of drivers ahead as he locks the rears, and Mallard going to get through on the Alpine surely. And can Ty even try and get through as he does get through out of the final corner, and DZ Racer now down to P15. He's just going to try and hold on. Cookie across the line as he returns to the top step of the podium and wins in Silverstone ahead of Himi Dimes and Rio, who are chasing to the line, but the Ferrari driver proving that Ferrari is clear of Mercedes. Meanwhile, TJ in P4, showing you how important it was to stay out on the hard tyres. Well, he's picked up a time penalty here in the final lap, which could leave him susceptible to Ali if Ali gets a monster final sector here. TJ's just going to be calm across the line. He should hold on to P4, which is his best ever finish here in WHF, as Ali finishes P5, Stephen in P6 for his best finish of the season. As Echo gets through on Berlin at the line, Womax jumps to P7, Ali up to P8, Michael to P9, Berlin to P10, Echo down to P12. Ty Mallard gets through. Echo drops behind, down all the way down to P13. Thorey into P14. DZ Racer to P15, and Jamie in P16. But Cookie winning again ahead of Himi Dimes and Rio.